My name is Kerri. I'm going to take this off here. When I get nervous, I walk and I pace. So I've been preparing something all week, thinking, I will never get called. And here I am. So then I decided about 2.5 minutes ago, oh God, I don't really want to talk about that. So I started texting everybody, what's a funny story I could tell? No one got back to me. So anyway, my curiosity, when I graduated college in 1994, I thought, I don't want to be a marriage counselor. I went to school, I got a degree in sociology. I don't want to hear anybody else's problems. I have enough of my own. How am I going to get a job? Who wants to be a social worker? So I figured, hey, I'll be a cop. That sounds cool, right? Really cool. Went to the police academy. There was about 30 other people in my class. I was one of 3 women, about 10%. I got out, never thought anything about it. I'm just a cop, right? So I went and worked at a bar, right? Best place, right? Where do you find a cop? In a bar. So unfortunately, I ran into a supervisor that was in my very small town. I'm from Eastern Pennsylvania. And I asked him, hey, Mr. Dalaba, I just graduated the police academy. He's like, really? He's drinking his whiskey. I said, yeah. You think they're hiring? He goes, we'll hire a black man before we ever hire a female. Oh, okay. FYI, when they merged with the other towns in my area, we had a regional about 4 years ago. They had neither black man or a female. They just hired, as a regional, 2 females. That's another story. Anyway, so as I'm working in the bar, the gentleman comes in and he says, hey, they're hiring in Philadelphia. I said, Philly? Sounds cool. 23 years old. 22. It's 22 years old. Sounds cool. Applied, got the job within a week. Now you have to understand that I had been trying for 6 months to get a job in the Lehigh Valley. In Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, those are our big cities. In the little towns, in the little townships, in the little boroughs. No. I struggled and fought my way through testosterone-fueled physical agility tests that were in place for decades. Why? Because it's always been that way. But they didn't choose or help to choose the best candidate. You know what they did? They reinforced the masculinity of the male-dominated field of police work. That's what they did. They are called invisible barriers. And they are invisible to men. Guess what? I saw them. I couldn't get over them. I couldn't do the pull-ups. I couldn't do the push-ups. I was a runner in college. I ran short distances. I was in peak physical condition, and I couldn't pass them. There were some women. I don't know how they did it. I don't know. Anyway, another story. So I go down to Philadelphia, and it's not Philly. It's the Philadelphia Housing Authority. Anybody know what that is? It's the projects. Guess what? I was another minority. I went in there as a cop. I was finally good enough. I was good enough to back people up. I was good enough to call out assists. I was good enough to investigate. I was good. I was good enough. I was actually promoted to detective. That was fun. Finally decided I wanted to come home. I'm like, I'm way too far away from my family. I gathered up my husband, who was born and raised in Fairmount, and brought him home to the country, he called it. I got back, and I'm like, I worked in Philly, and guess what? Everybody said, I don't give a fuck where you worked, because you are still a woman. I tried my hardest to get through those physical agility tests again. Couldn't do it. I was a little bit heavier. a little bit older. So I finally was hired in a very small borough, a mile by a mile, small. Very male-dominated, very Italian. Actually, the only all-Italian town incorporated in the United States in 1912. So this nice little small town said, we'll hire you, and guess what? You're a woman, so we're going to put you on the front of the paper. We're going to shake your hand. Yes, yes. I may be token, but I'm there. There's 2 people that were full-time, me and the chief. Fun times. 7 years, I get on. I was part-time at the time. That's how it works up that way. Finally made it to full-time. This is awesome. I'm full-time. I'm going to quit my other job and my other job. I'm going to quit both of them. And I'm going to be full-time. 3 years later, I get in a domestic argument with my husband. He is also a police officer. Put a gun to my head, told me he was going to kill me, kind of thing. I didn't press charges. If I press charges, he loses his job. If he loses his job, he loses his life. That's his thing. That's what he's been doing for 20 years. How can I press charges? I'll no longer have a life. I'll no longer have money. I'll no longer have a house. Well, what happens is he gets a month off with pay. I get fired for being a victim, for conduct unbecoming, because apparently that's frowned upon. You cannot be a victim of domestic violence and not press charges and be a police officer. So that is my story.